Do you ever wake up feeling like you're running on empty before the day even starts? And by lunchtime, you're completely drained? If you're a neurodivergent parent like me, then you probably feel like this all the time. And that's where the spoon theory comes in. So today I'm going to break down how it applies to you as a parent who's neurodivergent, and more importantly, how you can use it to avoid burnout while still showing up for your kids. So let's dive in. Hi everyone, and welcome to Mindset Over Meltdowns. If you're new here, my name is Shada. Thanks for joining me. And here on Mindset Over Meltdowns, we are a channel that focuses on providing advice, strategies, commiseration, just a community for neurodivergent parents who are raising young children to feel welcome, to feel seen, to help each other to get through these very, very, very challenging early years. So the spoon theory was created by Christine Misorandino. I'm butchering her name, so I apologize from the outset. Let's just call her Christine. So basically, Christine started her theory when she was sitting in a diner with her friend. She was explaining to her friend what it was like to move through the day as someone who has a chronic illness. Christine has lupus, and she was trying to explain using a tangible methods to her friend about what it was like having to use up all her energy to function day by day. So she literally grabbed a handful of spoons that she saw and she gave it to her friend. Each spoon represented a unit of energy, and she used them to show how even the basic tasks like brushing your teeth, having a bath, brushing your hair cost spoons. So as she outlined to her friend what her typical day was like, Christine started taking each spoon away one by one, demonstrating how quickly they ran out. So by the end of the exercise, her friend realized she could literally see how people with chronic illnesses and neurodivergent people, because we can apply the same principles, have to be careful about how we spend our spoons, because once they're gone, they're gone. Interestingly, Christine didn't even expect the spoon metaphor to be understood universally by everyone, but she was actually quite shocked to realize how it took off in the neurodivergent and chronic illness communities. So she kept it, and that's what became of the spoon theory. So I think it's interesting how the spoon theory can also be applied to neurodivergent people, especially those of us who are parents. To think of spoons as your daily energy units. Every task, even if it's getting out of bed, cooking, temper tantrums, an unexpected change of schedule, all of it applies as energy depleting unit and essentially costs us spoons. Now the thing to remember is that neurotypical parents might start the day with, say, 30 spoons. They've got 30 spoons to begin with. It's not the same principle if you are neurodiverse. We might start the day with 5 spoons, 10 spoons, even 2 spoons, depending on the level of stress we're under, depending on how we're feeling ourselves, our moods. We run out of spoons, that's what can kick off mood swings, irritability, shutdowns, spiraling. The list is endless. Some things can really hit hard for neurodivergent parents. So things like sensory overload, and that could be loud noises, i.e. screaming child, being touched all day, executive dysfunction, decision fatigue, emotional regulation, like our kids having temper tantrums that could trigger our own dysregulation. And this is a big one for me, social interaction. So that could be having to talk to teachers, having to talk to other parents when it's school pickup time, birthday parties. It's overwhelming. You know what makes it worse? If we have an unexpected event that can just totally throw us off and make us lose spoons like that. And that could even be a traffic jam, being late for school or work. The little things really add up. That's why understanding your spoons is so important. We've listed what the spoon theory is and what can trigger us to lose spoons. So how do we stop ourselves from losing all our spoons by noon? Which I've done before, by the way. So here are a few strategies I found that work really well for neurodivergent parents. First, let's stop spending spoons on things that really don't matter. I can't tell you what I was like when my daughter was weaning. I thought I had to be the perfect parent. I thought I had to make all her meals from scratch. I thought that I had to make sure all the food was organic, fruit and vegetables at every meal. All her food groups were catered for, and I used to make all these elaborate meals. And I did this every day. 7 days a week for weeks and weeks and weeks. I just completely burnt out. For what? To be fair, as long as our children are fed, that is the main thing. So we really have to prioritize. I had to stop where I was and say, you know what? I can't keep this up. I didn't even know I was neurodivergent back then. I decided 3 days out of the week, my daughter was gonna have processed food. She's gonna have chicken nuggets and chips and pizza and beans. That was fine. She survived, she's healthy. That meant that I was able to keep my sanity and my physical health was in check. Don't waste time on the small things that don't really make a difference, because you're wasting your spoons when it can be used in more productive ways, such as self-care for you. Create spoon-saving routines that work for you. If you're neurodivergent, you probably know that rigid schedules don't always work for you, but flexible routines do. So try scaling things back. Make simple meal rotations. What I do is I have certain days of the week where I make certain meals, and that just makes it so much easier. It makes it easier for me to remember. I can keep to that schedule. It keeps things simple, helps me to keep myself in check as well. So have a routine, but keep it flexible. So if it changes, you won't have a meltdown. You'll be able to carry on and say, okay, this has happened. This is a bit of a change. Let me roll with the punches and see how I get on. I'll be fine. So we talked about how to keep things simple. We've also talked about how to incorporate simple routines into our daily life so we can save spoons, but we can also replenish spoons as well, which is just as important. So repeat after me. You must refill your spoons. You have to, non-negotiable. And this can be done in really simple ways. So try noise cancelling headphones. If the noise is just getting too much, if the screaming, the shouting, the crying is driving you up the wall, invest in some noise cancelling headphones. It's a small way to decrease your stress, but it can be really, really useful. Try stepping outside for a few minutes to get some fresh air while your kids watch TV. Or letting your child play by themselves while you lie down for a few minutes in another room. You can't pour from an empty cup, or in this case, an empty spoon drawer. And don't forget to ask for help when and where you can. I used to be so bullheaded about this. I literally felt that I had to do everything myself. I don't know why I have that mentality at times where I feel, I've got to be strong, I've got to prove to myself that I can do everything. I'm this amazing superwoman and super mum. We've got to leave that in 2024, that mentality. Accept the help where and when you can. It's imperative for your health, your mental health, and your children's happiness as well. We can't do everything, nor should we. Get support from your partner, friends, family members, even rely on the TV if you have to. If that's a way to keep them quiet for a few minutes, you can rest. Do what you have to do. It's all about survival. Remember, we're not meant to do any of this alone. If you're always feeling tired, stressed out, burnt out, don't forget to start paying attention to your spoons. I can't get over how crazy that sounds. Okay, I'm talking about spoons, but you know what I mean. Pay attention to your spoons. They really matter. Protect them, save them when you can, and replenish them without any guilt. Remember, if you're burnt out as a parent, you're not going to be of any use to your kids or to yourself. If this video helped, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more neurodivergent parenting tips. And tell me in the comments, what's your biggest spoon drainer? Let's figure this out together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.